welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Jack Attacks the Cast. That's right, this season, Jack Nicholson. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me on the line is just a single Joe, Joe Vekeman.
Hi.
And on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And we have a returning guest this week. Grant Keller has come on down.
Hello! I'm very glad to be back. I was supposed to be back on a different episode that I planned a very elaborate bit for, but we'll get into that later.
We will get into that soon, too. All right, but Joe, what movie are we doing this week?
We watched 1990s. That's right, we're in the 90s, baby!
Yeah, we got
the
out.
two Jakes.
We survived.
Yeah.
We've just crossed the threshold.
Displeasure of Pat. We have finally exited the 80s, and so he's now
We just got to
happy.
pick newer people going forward.
That's not true. No, older people. Let's just never reach the 80s because they're so old.
I think you guys should do a Justice Smith series. I think that'd be really good.
Justice Smith. Interesting.
Well, yeah, America's clamoring for that season of our show.
People love him!
Joe, what
Pikachu.
happened in The Two Jakes for people who probably don't know?
The sequel to the classic Chinatown finds private detective Jake Gittes still haunted by the events of the first film. Hired by a man to investigate his wife's infidelities, Jake once again finds himself involved in a complicated plot involving murder, oil, and even some ghosts from his past.
Okay, yeah, that seems reasonable. All right, so Grant, what episode were we going to have you on, and what was your bit?
Well, first I'm going to start with the bit I was going to do for today's episode, but the person didn't respond to me, so I wasn't able to get them. I have a friend named Grant, and we were going to be the two Grants.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I couldn't get it to work.
He had already smoked his cigarette in the oil house, so it's too late for that bit.
Yeah, what a dumb idea that was.
That was funny, though. Like, that was like a cartoon level. Like, he did a big flip. I like that. But I was going to be on the Ticket to Paradise episode where me and Pat were going to do... You don't know about this show?
I did not know about this.
Okay, I was going to be on the Ticket to Paradise episode. And me and Pat were going to do a double feature of Black Adam and Ticket to Paradise. And for Ticket to Paradise, I bought a thing called a hot dog hawker, and I got one of my friends to dress up as a flight attendant. So it was like the movie theater was an airplane. And I had them hand out soda and pretzels to the audience. And I was dressed like I was going to the airport. I had a carry-on luggage. I had headphones. I downloaded Jungle Cruise to watch. I had a neck pillow. And I got all dressed up, and I have photos from it where I went to Ticket to Paradise like it was an airport in an airplane. I showed the AMC employee my ticket, which I took a boarding pass and put the QR code for the movie ticket on there, and the AMC employee was like, "Whoa, that's really cool." And I'm like, I have a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, no shit. Someone doesn't have kids. Someone's a young man.
You know what? It's fair that I don't have kids. I'm 21.
You in the movie Marry Me don't have any kids yet?
Not yet. I do love my life, Marry Me. Do you know I have a wife, Joe?
Oh, I follow you on Letterboxd. I am well aware that you have a wife named Marry Me.
Well, I love her. I love her so. Have you guys met my wife?
No, thank goodness. No offense.
I have not.
But I don't want to.
No, is that Owen Wilson in that one?
Yeah, it is.
I was gonna see that.
You know his character name in that movie? Charlie.
So who is that movie? It's J-Lo and Owo?
Yeah, we got J-Lo playing Kat Valdez, and we got Owen Wilson as Charlie Gilbert. One's a math teacher, one's a superstar.
Can you guess which is which, Joe?
Yeah, Charlie Gilbert is the fucking whitest name I've ever heard. Charlie Gilbert? Wow. Just, wow.
Chuck Pasty, we could call him.
Chuck Pasty.
But that was the elaborate bit.
More elaborate than just two Grants hanging out on my podcast.
How funny would that have been if I just came with a second Grant, though?
Didn't invite you, bonus Grant. Scram.
I mean, you're the only Grant I know, so it would have been a little confounding to me.
Oh, you've never heard of Ulysses S. Grant, Joe?
That's a different Grant.
no,
That's a last
that's a
name.
different kind of Grant.
Maybe Carrie?
Another different kind.
That's
Same
racist.
thing. No, what?
Speaking of
misinterpretation.
Ulysses S. Grant, though, one time my grandma pulled out a $50 bill and it had the name Grant on it, and I just pointed at her like, that has my name on it, and then she gave it to me.
What? What are you gonna do with $50?
Wow.
I don't know. I was like 11. Probably buy some toys. I'd probably do that now as well.
If I worked at a toy store and a kid handed me a $50 bill, I would assume it were counterfeit.
Where is this 11-year-old having a counterfeit operation, Pat?
I notice we're not talking about the two Jakes. Let's go back to the sequel to Chinatown, everybody.
Well,
I
let me
haven't
tell you,
seen
this
Chinatown because I wanted to come on clean. I didn't watch it. I wanted to treat it like a movie in its own right.
Wait. So had you seen the two Jakes before the podcast?
No. No, but I purposely didn't watch Chinatown.
Whoa. You're a screenwriter and you haven't seen or read Chinatown?
I've been wanting to.
Well, he's too busy watching Marry Me 8 times a day.
Well, I gotta. That's
Well,
my
and
wife.
Lightyear, too.
I wouldn't neglect my wife, Joe. I don't know about you.
Don't.
All right, so you came in clean. Did this movie make sense having not watched Chinatown?
I gotta say, kinda didn't.
Yeah.
There were parts where I was very lost. And like, am I meant to know who this guy is? I think that's Faye Dunaway. She's not in this movie, so I don't know why she's here.
Oh my God, that's the bit. That's the way better
bananas.
bit than the two Grants.
I don't know about that.
It's not having seen Chinatown and watching the two Jakes. That's a tough bit to pull off.
I assumed it was gonna be like a detective thing where it's like you don't really have to know anything going into the next case. But no,
we're not doing Glass Onion here.
I didn't know. I hadn't seen Chinatown.
All right. Well, Joe, you saw Chinatown. Did it make sense to you?
Yes. I mean, I didn't hate this movie. I also didn't really like it, but I mean, it's a very nice-looking movie.
Yeah, you know, for a different director taking the helm,
yeah,
you wouldn't really know.
I really wouldn't know.
Yeah, we know you wouldn't know, Grant.
Fucking hell.
I did. Jack had some fun shots in here, especially at the start. Like, there was one that was such a low angle under the two, him and Lou chatting. I like that. That was fun.
There are like two really weird, bizarre shots. One is like it's after the first explosion, and like the camera's all like twisty around, and I go, oh, calm down, Jack. What are we doing here?
I don't believe that was a camera move. That looked like it was done in the edit.
The camera got exploded with it, and it was just,
I feel like this movie was meddled with a lot from producers and studio heads.
And then the last really bad one is right at the end, when there's just this big zoom in on the door as Jack Nicholson comes out.
He's like trying to do a Marty.
Yeah, like you wanted to go out on that. Well, that hasn't been the tone of your movie the whole time.
At all.
Why are you doing
awkward.
this now?
It's so awkward. But I need to tell you.
Yeah.
So this is another movie that Jack Nicholson can add to his resume as in, I wanted to gain weight to play an older man.
Well, Jack.
I think this guy needs to gain a little bit of weight. He does this every other movie, and he's like, I think this guy should probably gain an extra 25 pounds. I'm gonna have.
Meanwhile, his manager's calling and said, Jack, are you sure you just don't want to eat 20 hot dogs this week, and this is your excuse?
The Lakers are on.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just riddled with crazy trivia. So this let me just go through.
Give
a
me
couple
some
of these.
trivs.
At a movie theater in Florida, a patron left his seat to tell the theater manager that the reels of the movie were running out of sequence. This is just a random event that happened for this movie. Ready?
Yeah.
They're running out of sequence. The manager went to check and confirm this, but then told the moviegoer, this movie's been playing here for 3 weeks, and you're the first person who's noticed that something was wrong. So for 3 full weeks, the movie was playing out of order, and no one questioned it.
They just didn't like it. They just left and went bad.
It's just like, what? I mean, I get it, because the movie, at a certain point, I'm like, did I miss something? Paramount wanted Harvey Keitel fired and replaced with a more bankable actor. Jack Nicholson refused and told Keitel, "Nobody's firing you on this picture."
Yeah, what had Keitel done so far? Because it's 90, and I think a lot of people think of early 90s Keitel. But what has he did in the 80s?
He is coming off of playing Judas in The Last Temptation of Christ.
Makes
88.
sense.
He's about to go do Bad Lieutenant in Reservoir Dogs. So this must have helped him out a lot. I mean, he was in The Border with Nicholson a few
That's
years
right.
later.
I think they should have
Jack
cast
wanted him.
another actor named Jack, so it was the two Jacks instead of the two Jakes.
All right.
I think that would have been good. I gotta tell you, when this movie opened with them going like, "You're Jack? No, oh wait, no, you're Jake? No, I'm Jake. We're both
Yeah, they
Jake."
really wanted us to know there were two Jakes, and I thought that would play a bigger role than just some tape meddling at the end.
Yeah, well, getting into other actors that were supposed to be in the role of the other Jake. Robert Evans underwent major plastic surgery before the film began, reportedly bringing pictures of cats with him to get the look he wanted. Jack Nicholson and Robert Towne were horrified when they saw the results because Evans had become unrecognizable. Robert Evans was a producer on the movie Chinatown, and apparently he was trying to work his way in to be an actor in The Two Jakes.
Well, that would have been annoying. Did you say he brought pictures of cats
Cats, yes.
to his plastic surgeon?
Surgeon, yes.
He wanted to
get
look
the look he
more
wanted.
like a cat?
I looked him up. He looks like he accomplished what he was trying to do.
He said this role needs the second Jake to look feline, and then actually,
Yes, the producer of the film, yes.
in a movie that had a budget for a prosthesis team, they said, what if I just made myself look like a cat?
I mean, that's what he was going for.
This might be the most ridiculous piece of trivia we have had for a movie on this show. The man made himself look like a cat for a role he didn't even get and didn't tell anyone he was going to do it.
Was it
No,
for the role he made himself look like a cat?
It wasn't
or was
just
he
for the role.
wanting to do
He was
this?
trying to look younger.
So
but
he wanted
looks
to look like a cat?
Look like a cat. That's right. That's right.
I don't think I can let this go.
You shouldn't.
He wanted to look like a cat.
Meow.
There's your socks talk chat next time, Grant. You want to look like a cat?
What was
Yeah.
his thinking?
Joe, isn't
there?
that the plot of an episode of Nip Tuck?
Yes. Wow. What a fucking call. Wow. Oh my god. You just referenced a Nip Tuck episode. That's crazy.
That is insane. That's more insane than Jack Nicholson's dad forgetting he was married when he got married for a second time.
What?
Oh yeah, you missed some episodes there, Grant. Jeez. Joe, it's crazier than when Jack's sister might have been his mother or something. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazier than all of this. I don't know how you come back from being a cat, though.
What's his name? Robert Evans? I want to look this up.
Yeah. I mean, beware.
I don't want to look it up.
I'm not kidding.
I don't want to do
You
that.
can't make this up.
Oh my god, he's dead?
Well, that...
Yeah, he's like gonna be 90
don't
something
think
if
that's
he wasn't.
weird. He was not 20 when he made this movie.
I don't know. Oh my god, I forgot.
He was the
I
producer of
forgot he was in the-
Chinatown. How could he was around the 70s? He had to be at least 30 something.
Whoa. He was a producer of Chinatown, too, so he wanted to be also 50-year-old guy, married to eerily young.
Yes.
That was one of the nice things about the movie, was like, oh, thank God Jack doesn't want to smooch her at the end of this film because he's way too old. But Robert Towne was... No, what's his name?
No, Robert Evans. Robert Evans.
Yeah, Robert Evans. Robert Evans was like, yeah, it's fine if I do it.
He just wanted to look younger, like a cat.
That's why he wanted to do... Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
May we all look like we're cats in our 80s, much like Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin and Blythe Danner. None of them look cat-like.
You know, Tom Hooper did this for us.
What?
Hey, you saw Cats, right?
No, I did not, thank God.
Why not?
Do we talk... We must talk about cats in the Sandler series, though, right? Like,
I
we
don't
have
think
to.
so.
It was 2019. It was,
No,
it was a weird time.
in the dark era. The dark...
Yeah, I took
dark ages.
my kid to see it because she likes cats, and when Taylor Swift came on, I will never forget. I pointed out. I was like, "That's Taylor Swift." She's like, "Taylor Swift's a cat?" And I'm like,
she was a cat the whole time? She looked so non-cat-like.
Yeah, it was like heartbreaking. I'm like, oh no, she's not really a cat.
He's like still editing the film even on the day of the premiere. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's got to get Judi Dench's wedding ring on it.
Yeah, she can't be a married cat. That would be weird.
So I have a confession to make. I had a Patrick moment in this movie.
You hadn't seen Chinatown?
No, Patrick.
You confused Harvey Keitel with somebody else?
No, so Meg Tilly. I was like, Meg Tilly, oh yeah, she's great. She's in Liar Liar, she's in Bound, she's great. And then I was like, I looked her up, I'm like, why can't I find these movies? Why can't I find these movies?
Yes!
It was Jennifer Tilly that I was thinking of, her sister. And I did not know there was another Tilly out there. I thought there was just one Tilly.
Well, his was crazy. I know Jennifer Tilly. I'd never heard of this Tilly.
Yeah, neither have I. That's why I was like, who's this?
Yeah, I didn't know who most of the people in this movie were. And I go, you didn't get big names for your big deal sequel? It seems odd.
Excuse me, no. You knew who Frederick Forrest is. He's been in many Coppola films. You know who Richard Farnsworth is. He's in The Straight Story.
I didn't see The Straight Story.
You haven't seen The Straight Story yet with the David Lynch movie?
No, because of how boring it sounds.
Wow.
But if they put it out on Criterion, I would buy it. Got to complete my collection.
Speaking of Jennifer Tilly, though, she was in an episode of Frasier.
Oh, they got Wally now. She was in an episode of... She was doing the sitcom tour in the early 2000s.
She was in, like, the second Laura Linney episode. It was insane.
Yeah. All right, so, Joe, you confused somebody with anybody else?
No, that's it.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah.
What was the name of the woman from the early Jack episodes that you loved who acted like a chicken?
Millie Perkins!
For some reason, when I read Meg Tilly, I was like, is it? It's not. But
yeah, she had the decency to at least act just like it. She didn't get chicken surgery.
She should have, though.
My goodness.
Maybe she would have...
Well, they didn't have plastic surgery in the Old West. Not the kind you'd want, anyway.
Did Robert Evans, like, walk on all fours on set when he would come to visit?
That's the whole topic of the episode. I don't want to talk about the movie. I just want to talk
about
this ridiculous idea.
Let me hold on. There is one more thing you should know. So there is an alternate version of this movie that was released in 2007 on DVD. Jack Nicholson has taken out some of the narration and music cues, and he also supervised a color correction on it.
Coloring seems fine. The narration was odd, mostly because the first movie didn't have it.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't a problem for me.
Yeah.
I just assumed the first movie had it.
Like, it is a sort of a noir trope staple, and there were some times when it was helpful, because your movie wasn't written as well as the first one, which isn't a full criticism, because
it's written by the same guy. It's written by the same guy,
but again, let's
15 years later.
Let's not forget, Roman Polanski did some meddling to it.
Was this in development the moment Chinatown came out?
No.
How long was this been in development?
It was in development.
Mid-80s, early 80s, so it had been some time.
So it was always going to be a decade after?
It was supposed to be 11 years, and then it turned into like 15, 16 years. He was trying to make this earlier in the 80s, and it didn't happen. Because Kathy Moriarty was supposed to play the Meg Tilly role, I believe, and I guess she was in like a motorcycle accident or some kind, maybe an automobile accident.
They had to make her look like a cat, too.
No, the production got delayed, and they
the two cats
decided to put it on hold until they were ready, and then I guess she never recovered fully from it, so they just went with another actress.
There were also production, like there was the three people, with one of them showing up like a cat unannounced, caused a lot of on-set drama, made it hard for the distribution plan to go. For the money to come in, and there was a lot of crap that went down, and nobody likes each other anymore. And
did you see the picture of Jack I sent you though? Isn't that a crazy picture? Can you describe it?
I'm fine. Can I describe it? The photo.
Describe the picture of Jack. Yeah.
So it's Jack Nicholson doing his pose at the end of The Shining when he's in the photo. But he's not in the photo in The Shining. He's in real life, and he's 20 years older. His head, the top of his head is the size you'd expect it to be having seen him in 1990. The bottom of his head tapers off like a carrot somehow, defying the laws of physics and age. But he's got these really sharp red glasses on him. The person with the camera had this, what must have been a 19-inch diameter bulb on the top of it, because everybody behind him seems horribly blinded, so thank God Jack has got those big glasses on him.
He was smart. I was just trying to point out, though, because I mentioned for the role he put on some weight, but it looks like he got really slim in this. The jacket's a little, like...
Yeah, I know.
Big on him.
He looks like me. He's like an alive skeleton.
He does. He looks like very skinny. But you have more hair than him.
Yeah. Phew. This movie was not very well received. And there are a lot of reasons for it. But I think okay, hold on, Grant. I think the chiefest among them is it's unfair to compare it to Chinatown, right? But you're coming in here to the sequel to Chinatown, and you're like, wow, another great all-time movie. The Godfather 2, pulling that off, is a rare feat.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. This movie was a sequel to a 70s Best Picture winner that came out in 1990, also The Godfather Part 3.
Yeah, see?
That's so weird.
But if you try to take away the expectations that Chinatown set, you have a more pleasant experience.
I don't know about that one.
No? You just didn't like...
I didn't like it.
All right, here's the other structural problem, is the movie really works hard in the first hour to be like, mystery, we're a noir mystery film. The movie doesn't want to be a noir mystery film after that, though. That's not really what the film's about. The film is about, it's this kind of character movie for Jack's character having to move on and finding out that he can't. And it sort of follows Chinatown pretty well, actually, where in that film it's like Jack trying to do the right thing and then can't. He doesn't have any of that power. In this movie, he already knows it. And he says it very early on. And so you're like, well, then what are you going to do? Like, what's the whole point of this movie? Does he, like, finally have the power? That seems unlikely. He realizes he doesn't have the power over his past either. Like, he once again is sort of completely, despite him being what seems to be a commercial success now and has a much bigger business, and he's been a success in life for his career. The thing he really wants, he's not able to get, despite having all the power at his disposal. I think on that level it kind of works. I think it just set up expectations within itself incorrectly, aside from the outer expectations that being a sequel to Chinatown would have. We'll do you first, Joe, because you have seen Chinatown, and then we'll do you, Grant, because you haven't. So, Joe, what are your thoughts on that?
On what? The two Jakes?
On what I just said.
It doesn't work because it's at the same time, it's too indebted to trying to be a sequel when it should just try to be its own thing. When it's trying to do its own thing, it's just not as engaging and compelling as the original. And it's too much to live up to. That movie was a fucking landmark for the genre. They should have just never touched it. It's like with Jaws and you can't. They want to remake that movie so fucking badly, just like and put it in a modern day setting, like
a modern day setting of a beach. Yeah, the beach has changed so much since 1976. The way beaches are, here's how they are now. The sea level is higher. The end.
All right, Pat. Okay.
That means the sharks can get closer to land.
Yeah. We already had a Sharknado. They got as close as they wanted to.
You're not going to have someone try to direct like Steven Spielberg directed Jaws. Just like you're not going to be able to replicate Roman Polanski with Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson has directed 2 other films before this, and they're kind of nothing.
Okay, I think Drive, he said, was a well-directed movie. And I think this was a well-directed movie, mostly. I think the problems are the script. And I guess you could point to the editing, but that also ties back to the script. I spent the first hour being like, wow, this is a cool mystery. This is kind of a neat thing. Did he kill him? Did he not? Now Jack's kind of gotten involved because of that, and he's going to be the patsy. This mob. Everybody wants these tapes. He doesn't know how to please them all. Sounds cool. And then the movie shifts gears pretty abruptly. And I'm like disappointed that we're not solving this mystery because it seemed pretty cool. But then I looked back and I go, well, I do like that second half too. I wish you, like you said, Joe, I wish you just picked one. You know?
I just wish what they did was say, hey, this is a whole new private investigator detective story. Nothing tied to Chinatown at all. This is Jack Nicholson making his own noir film. It's just when there's no reason this needs to be a sequel. And then I was going to get to, they were planning a third movie after this, and then this was received so poorly that they're like, no.
Well, they also didn't like each other anymore. That would certainly, and your original director had done some things, so
yes,
you were already in trouble. I think.
Weren't they gonna make 4, like one for each industry? Because this one was about oil. I don't know which one Chinatown's about.
It was 3. It was water, land, and air. So they got the bad guy, and the third one was going to be like a Howard Hughes type dude.
Yeah, but it was going to be about like divorce too, because it was supposed to be like called Giddis versus Giddis.
Well, yeah, of course it's about. He's a private investigator. It's all divorce. It's all divorce, Joe. I think this movie needed to be a sequel because that is what the crux of the movie is. It's this fallout from Chinatown, which is worth exploring.
It just Chinatown has like one of the most perfect endings, though. You don't touch things like that.
Yeah, it does. But like, I don't know. It's been 16 years, so you could kind of.
Then they could have
view them separately.
Done. Forget it, 2 Jakes. It's 2 Chinatowns at the end of this.
Okay. Well, one more thing. I just wanted to dive into.
Yeah.
So, in April 1985, Kelly McGillis, Kathy Moriarty, like I was saying earlier, Dennis Hopper, Joe Pesci, and Harvey Keitel had all been cast ready to shoot the film that month.
Who's Joe Pesci playing if you've got Dennis Hopper?
This is like mid-80s.
I guess Dennis Hopper could be like the mafia guy.
Who's the guy who gave him the grenade to put in the safe? Would it be him?
Do you think Harvey Keitel still comes back as because Harvey Keitel would be a different character too, because this is what I was getting at. The following month, the sets had been built and filming was ready to begin, but Towne's lack of confidence in Evans' acting ability, because this was Robert Evans coming to set
a big cat.
As the cat, acting exploded into a final argument when Evans objected to having to get a 1940-style haircut, mostly due to recent plastic surgery scars that would be visible. Filming was scheduled to begin 4 days after the confrontation, with a witness telling Vanity Fair. In the morning, nothing happened. They said the weather was wrong, but you could tell the plug had been pulled. On top of existing problems between Nicholson, Towne, and Evans, grievances were filed by 120 crew members who had not been paid over $500,000 from Screen Actor Guild and Directors Guild of American members, and $1.5 million from suppliers of sets, props, costumes, and sound stages. And the project was officially postponed indefinitely.
So Evans comes and says, I need to look younger to make the role believable, but I don't need to have 40 Styles hair to make it look believable?
Yeah, I know. He's a fucking sociopath.
I need to look like a cat for this to be believable, but God help you if you try to alter my hair. My face is fine. You can permanently alter that.
Oh, God.
Couldn't get him a wig or something?
So, Ruben Blades, right?
Yeah.
Did I say his name right?
I don't know.
Was like Mickey Nice or something.
Mickey Nice, yeah, that's the guy. That's the mob guy.
That's gonna be like, yeah, Joe Pesci or Harvey Keitel, because Robert Evans was supposed to play the other Jake.
That's right, yeah. All right, Grant, you never saw Chinatown. What was confusing in this movie for you?
I came in with 0 expectations, so
yeah.
I just knew this movie was famously bad, and a sequel to Chinatown, a movie I have not seen. So, like, the first half hour was, like, a rip-roaring good time where we were getting to work on this mystery. And then it kind of halted, and then we just kind of did nothing for 2 hours until, like, the ending courtroom stuff where everything is like, you didn't do it, Jake. You're free. And then he goes to the house and it blows up. Which is like, I don't know. I was just kind of bored. I fell asleep for part of it and didn't rewind. So, you know what? I was a loose watch.
Yeah, and that was the experience I was describing, per se, right? You get a fun mystery, so you're really expecting this to be another mystery movie like Chinatown, and then it becomes a very different type of movie, which is fine and interesting to explore in the wake of Chinatown, but you made your mystery so cool, we just want you to go do that again. That's the problem.
Like, I like that the half-hour mark. They're like, we got you, Jake. If you prove the other Jake is innocent, you're safe. But no, if you prove the other Jake is guilty, you're fine. But if you don't prove he's innocent, I'm getting my words.
Yeah, listen, he was screwed either way. That was cool. So, like, he has to really work hard to get around a law. All the different people trying to F him over.
I kind of wish, like, more Looney Tunes style action happened, like when he smoked that cigarette and just like did a big flip. That was great. That was so much fun.
That was so out of place in this movie. I was like, this
That
is
was
wild.
so funny because it just came out of nowhere. He just sits down, he's gonna go have a smoke, and then boom!
They gotta set us up that the house is gonna explode later.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Yeah.
I just
No, Joe,
I
it
have,
wasn't a good moment.
You don't have to shoot it as weirdly as the tumbly jack and like there's like a wind chime or a xylophone like moving up the scales at that moment.
Yeah,
You're like,
definitely
all right,
wind chimes. Yeah.
Calm down here.
I have found Roger Ebert's 3.5 out of 4-star review of this film.
All right, give it to us.
Roger, Roger, Roger. Roger, 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 Roger. R-O-G-E-R. R-O-G-E-R.
I'm trying to condense it here, but...
Oh,
it's
but like,
just-
listen, here's the deal, though. 3.5 stars doesn't mean anything. He could still really hate the movie. He loves rating highly movies he doesn't like. He loves it.
3.5 out of 4 stars, writing that every scene falls into place like clockwork. Exquisite.
Oh, he actually really did like the That's so rare
It's just
for
like,
him.
I don't know how to tell you that he
Usually he's
really
just like, yeah,
liked it.
movie's a big mess. I don't know why anyone bothered wasting their time making this thing. They should all feel bad. 2 out of 4 stars. And you're like, what the Roger, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go that... It's certainly a messy film. I think we're a little too harsh on it.
I mean, everybody else was
I
like...
feel like we haven't even been that harsh on it.
I think if the movie were exactly the same but wasn't a sequel to Chinatown, despite it making less sense, we would be kinder to it.
If it wasn't a sequel to Chinatown, would you still want it to be called The Two Jakes, Pat?
Yeah, that'd be fine. The Two Jakes seems to be a thing about the movie, so...
Yeah, no, it makes sense with the movie. The movie was made for $25 million, and it made 10.
That's crazy. Because even when a Marvel movie's bad,
I know.
it'll make too
I
much
know.
money. So this
Yeah,
wildly...
but sequels in the old days didn't perform, right? Isn't there a thing like they would cut the budgets by like 40 or 50% because they knew it wouldn't perform a sequel if it was like a direct follow-up?
Could make sense.
I know that was the case for Planet of the Apes, the old ones.
Yeah, but those ones had, like, smaller stars, and those movies get really weird. I guess this movie's kind of weird, but, like, they're worshipping a
I don't
bomb
know, they
in
have
one
the
of the
biggest
films.
movie stars of all. Apes.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. The original movie stars.
The original Chinatown was made for $6 million, and the box office was 29.2. So I'm like, not a giant hit either.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's a movie that became a legacy type of thing. What was the budget on this? Was $25 million?
25 million.
You could take a pay cut for broadcast news, Jack, but you couldn't take it for here?
Pay cut? Didn't he work for free?
That's a pay cut, isn't it?
Yeah. That is a pay cut, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're
right.
writing, you're directing, and you're starring in. You can't sort of merge those together. Jeez.
No. I think Jack should have made all of the money for this movie because he put his heart and soul into it.
I think that Jack is a cinephile, right? I think that's why Jack wants to do this more introspective, meditated type film. His directing is good.
I know in your old episodes you mentioned he was going to transfer to just directing. Do you think he still has like that bone in his body where he's like, I got it?
I think there was a timeline where if things had shooken out differently in his acting career, that could have worked out. But the parts never stopped coming, you know?
If this movie was a huge hit and it was like critically adored and it got awards, he would be directing more. It was not. So he was like, let's pivot. And he did. He's just like, it's retirement now anyways.
I'm shocked Jack now never moved into like directing sports games. Like I'm shocked he's not like behind the camera at one of the Lakers games, just moving that thing around.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to turn his hobby into work. He wants it to be play.
Yeah. All work and no
I think
play,
Jack
remember?
I think to bring it back to Frasier, which I think this podcast is ultimately about.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Frasier where Niles gets to go on the basketball court and make a free throw.
That's right. Yeah.
I think they should let Jack Nicholson make a free throw.
I bet it would go
and
just
I think
as
he
well.
should win the Lakers team if he does it.
I certainly don't think he wants to own the team. He already gets the ownership treatment without any of the effing headaches.
Yeah, they love him.
I don't think he has to do
always
any of the
feature him
business
now.
responsibilities. I just think it should be his.
It
I feel like it's unfit for anyone else.
All right. What are our last looks on the Two Jakes?
Glad there wasn't 3.
I think there should be 4.
You think? I would have watched the third one. I didn't mind this one. I just think it's a big miss. Not a big miss.
What do you think?
I meant I'm glad there's not 3 Jakes.
Oh, you didn't want 3 Jakes? The 3 Jakes?
Yeah,
My
two's
3
enough.
Jakes?
I wish every character in this movie was named Jake. I think that would have been good.
That would be so confusing. I like Harvey Keitel. Yeah, I'm happy Harvey Keitel was in this.
Were there any positive takeaways, Grant, in this movie?
Yeah, what do you got, Grant?
I'm gonna take my last look. Okay, number one, I have to mention that I've seen Harvey Keitel talk at my school, and he wore open-toe sandals like a hero. And then a kid asked him to help with his sense of humor, and it was very uncomfortable. They didn't screen the questions, and it went very poorly. And I think, if you're gonna have a very famous man at your school, maybe screen the questions. So a guy isn't just annoying Harvey Keitel.
They asked to help with his sense of humor? What?
Wait,
Okay,
what?
a kid raised his hand. He's like, "I'm not funny like you, Harvey Keitel. Can you help me be funny?" And Harvey Keitel was like, "What is this?"
Is Harvey Keitel known for his humorous roles?
Okay.
I don't understand.
I need to know,
They
when
should've
was
screened the
this? Was this
questions.
recently?
That's terrible.
Yeah,
This was
was
when
this recent?
Langsky came out. Did you see Langsky? This was like maybe a year ago, maybe a little less.
Okay, well, Harvey Keitel's 84 years old. Leave the fucking guy alone. Oh my god.
I didn't do it. I thought it was.
I know, not you, but like these
incredibly
twerps
bad
who are just
taste.
like asking their dumb like bit questions. I know you wouldn't do that. You're too nice.
I wouldn't. I only do dumb bits for you guys, who I love.
You didn't even do it, though. You didn't come here with a second Grant.
He tried though. He tried. He's
I
got
have
a
no
big day
control
ahead
over
of
the
him.
second grant. I tried to get him.
All right.
I texted him and he
Okay.
did not respond.
I forgive him.
That's not on me.
All right.
Yeah, you're right though. There should never be a situation where the questions aren't pre-screened. That is a horrible idea. I feel bad for those actors. Yeah, I know they get paid millions and millions of dollars, but like, whatever.
All right, what are my last looks? Well, why does Jack Nicholson do this movie? Well, he clearly liked the character and wanted another chance to direct. Bad enough. His directing seems fine. I think him liking the character so much is part of maybe what moved it into this more meditative style, which would have been a nice return to form to Drive, he said, right? I've been complaining all 80s about him just sort of going down this commercial path and losing some of the indie edge he came up with. And the second half is really kind of trying to return to that. But that first half mystery, I think, derails it, and now he's discouraged from ever doing it again, which is unfortunate. And maybe he thinks, well, the 70s are over, the industry's moved on, movie-going audiences want a different thing. World cinema's just over now. And that's unfortunate, because I think I would have liked to see more things like this. Sad he can't direct again, because I think he did pretty well. He's not a Scorsese or anything, but he's not far from it. He's doing interesting things. I've seen a lot worse directors in the 80s doing his movies, and those guys got to keep working, so...
I hate this is the one that derailed him from directing more.
Yeah, Catherine Mulwray came out looking pretty good for being an incest baby, so she got that going for her.
Christ.
No. Did you know she was an incest baby, Grant, having not seen the first one?
No.
Okay. Did the movie explain it to you, or did I just, ruin the big surprise?
When you just said that, I was like, I thought you were talking about the actor, and I'm like, didn't know that. And then you made it the character, and I'm like, they really didn't know that.
Yeah. All right. I guess our last looks is 2 Jakes. Watch Chinatown first. I think that's the biggest takeaway. The science study is over. You definitely need to watch the first movie before you watch the second one. Newsflash.
Yeah, I mean...
I think we also learned a very important lesson, like with blockbusters. Bigger isn't always better. Adding another Jake isn't always going to work. Maybe adding more Jakes, maybe taking a Jake away would have done it. Who knows?
Yeah. Too much of a good Jake can be a bad thing sometimes.
They're all jaked up.
We got a little too jakey. All right, well, I'd like to thank Grant Keller for stopping by this week. Grant, you have a podcast too, yes?
I do. I finally have something to plug. I have a podcast called Socks Talk, where we talk exclusively about Socks, a cat from Lightyear, and justify my $400 purchase of a life-size Socks toy.
Oh my
Pat has
God.
been on. It was a great episode. Joe, we need to have you on. Lev, if you're listening, I'd love to have you on as well.
Well, that Lev could be a tough get. He's a surly guy, but I'll give them both your info, Grant, after this, and they can reach out to you if they're interested.
We air episodes every other week, and they run from 1/2 hour to an hour and a half. I
Wow.
try to reel them in though.
Yes, that certainly does make editing easy. All right, where are your episodes available? Basically anywhere podcasts are found?
Oh, we're available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but we have two different things in Spotify because I signed up for a hosting service that I can't cancel for some reason. I'm calling them later today, to be honest. So now I have two separate things on Spotify that if you look at my podcast, come on.
Oh, I know that life. All right, well... Thank you for stopping by, Grant. Good luck with your show as well. Yes, I think my episode's already come out, right?
I think we're like 6 episodes in. I don't know. I do everything for that show, and I'm unaware.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys need your own Lev. Make Dimitri be your Lev.
Dimitri can't be Lev.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
And no one can really pull off the Lev move. All right, I like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer, speaking of, for minding those audio boards and keeping us sound so slippery smooth. I'd like to thank my co-host Joe Vekeman for stopping by.
Thank you.
And I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill. You may find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar-sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night. I just read one of the most devastating fucking quotes I've ever read in my life.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Patrick. Okay, so the film stage has this thing with Martin Scorsese. The whole world has opened up to me, but it's too late. I want to tell stories, and there's no more time. Fuck. That hurt me. That hurt me a lot.
If it took him less than 5 years to make a movie, might be able to do
COVID! He's been trying to make this fucking movie, but COVID happened.
that. No, COVID. Global pandemic. Everything's taking so much longer and everything's so unsafe now.
I know you say global pandemic, and then at the same time, Steven Spielberg made 2 fucking movies in the pandemic. Both were nominated for Best Picture, so, you know, he's doing something. I know he's a shoo-in every time, but whatever.
I'm just ribbing you, Marty. I know it's tough out there.
You just know he's like my top guy, you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna hang around for another 50 years, and I'm gonna watch all of his movies, and then I'm gonna die happy, and then he can die too once I'm dead. No big deal. Just has to do that for me.
He's like, oh, thank God, Joe finally died. I can rest in peace.
Yeah,
This could be a Marty Scorsese movie. Now he's got to send someone to kill you so he can die. He's there in hospice care, and he just won't let go, and it's pissing him off. I had myself a busy film week, as you saw, Joe.
Yeah, look at you go.
4 in the movie theater and 4 at home.
I need to see Blackberry. That's for sure.
You definitely need to see Blackberry.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one. Everyone's been talking about it, and I was like, am I going to really see this? And then you're like, you put the stamp on it, I'm going to see it.
Definitely.
Speed Racer is quite the bummer to see 1.5 stars. I've been trying to watch that movie for the last, 10 years now, and...
It's on HBO.
Yeah, well, I bought the Blu-ray when it was unavailable anywhere. Well, I got it for $6, so I didn't
Well,
spend
that
much
makes
on it.
sense.
Yeah, every time I put it on, I'm like, ooh, very interesting, fun, dynamic beginning, and then 15 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn this off.
Yep.
It happens every time. I don't know if I just need to see it in a theater or what.
Yeah, I think you needed to see it in 2008.
Yeah, I really feel like it. Everybody talks about it like it's the coolest thing ever, and I'm like, I just want to see that. I just want to see what they're seeing.
No.
It's frustrating. Then this one, no surprise to me, because it says The Pentagon Wars, and it has Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. That is the only... Kelsey Grammer was on the thumbnail, and I said, guess we're watching that tonight.
And then you watch Draft Day.
Yeah, it was, typical Patrick in the mood for a sports movie.
So your thing's football, and as you've seen, my thing will be basketball.
You have decided to choose. You said, I need a thing, it shall be basketball.
Yeah.
So you're gonna watch like Joanna Man and White Men Can't Jump and...
Actually, did I tell you this?
What?
No, it's working out way better than that. I have a movie from 1960 called Tall Story. Have you heard of it?
Is this like a little boy becomes a grown basketball player overnight thing?
Is this like a long-awaited prequel to Tall Girl?
A long-awaited prequel.
Teen Wolf, there's another
1960.
basketball movie for you.
Oh, I haven't
Look,
seen
it took
Teen
them
Wolf.
some time to cook up the real movie that it was going to be a prequel to.
Yeah, it was easier to sell man movies back then than lady movies, Joe.
Tall Story is a young, insecure college sportsman is in trouble. He wants to marry his very straightforward girlfriend, but has no money. When he is offered a bribe to fix a game, he is torn even more about the matter. Now, let me just tell you, this movie stars Jane Fonda.
Oh, they don't shoot basketball players, do they?
Very nice.
Yeah.
But this is the same year that Psycho comes out, and this stars Anthony Perkins.
Ooh, is this the young man?
Yes, it is the young man. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy. Joe, you're missing the headline. Carmen.
Oh, yes, I was getting to that one. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I stopped at, we were talking about the sports
Oh, we're talking about
movie.
Draft
That's-
Day. Yeah. I enjoyed it more than I thought.
But not only do I have that, I have a movie called Celtic Pride I can watch. Do you know what Celtic Pride is? It's a movie starring Damon Wayans, Daniel Stern, and Dan Aykroyd, and Christopher McDonald. What
three
a
Dans.
cast!
Three Dans, a Chris, and a
Stupid.
little lady.
Then I have a Michael Shannon basketball movie. There we go, with Zazie
Is
Beetz.
this young Shannon or like?
No, this
what
is
year are we
2016.
working with?
This is prime us watching him in the theater.
Up and coming indie film star Michael Shannon, Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat. I mean, not Pat. Joe, do you get to watch 2023's Bobby Fairley's Champions?
Oh, Champions. Yeah, no, maybe I'll watch that one now, too.
You have to. It's a basketball.
Yeah, put together your basketball letterbox list, Joe.
I'm going to, because I also have Forget Paris, which is a Billy Crystal starring and directed movie that he worked on with Deborah Winger. You know, Deborah Winger, who we've seen recently.
I know we've seen her.
All right.
I was there.
Well, she just disappeared. There's a movie called Where Did Deborah Winger Go?
Yeah,
or
that's
something like that,
what
right?
we talked about too in
Is
that
that a
episode.
Where You Go Bernadette joke?
No, it's a real thing. She's in a movie called Searching for Deborah Winger that was directed by Rosanna Arquette.
Well,
and it stars
she's
like
got
all
time.
of her friends. You know, Jane Fonda, Terry Garr, Melanie Griffith, Daryl Hannah, Holly Hunter. This is just a who's who of like lady actresses.
All right. Well, the point of the story, Grant and
Yes,
Joe.
Carmen.
Yes, 2022 had like Tar and Kind of Everything Everywhere All at Once. We are not even halfway through the year. We got Carmen, we got Blackberry, and we got Skinamarink. What a great year for films.
Skinamarink.
I need to see Carmen and Blackberry. I'm probably gonna go today.
Yeah.
No, I was at like the TCL Chinese theaters. Like they have their own little separate like 6-screen theater. I mean, I couldn't even get a screening of Blackberry. They were too busy playing Fool's Paradise, which I'm not gonna see.
Underwhelming.
Wow.
The lesser of the Sunny in Philadelphia starring movies this week.
Oh wow, that's true. Wow.
I don't know. I also kind of find Charlie Day grating, but like I don't know why.
Yeah,
He's just-
I liked him. I had a little hope going into
Well,
it.
you also love Independence Day Resurgence. Nope, that's not the
that's
movie I
not
wanted
me.
to say. I wanted to say, what's the one? Pacific Rim Uprising. Where
I
Charlie
also
Day
didn't
was
like
the
that
villain of
one.
it.
No,
No,
Wait,
you
you
loved
saw
it.
that?
I didn't see that. I saw the first one.
Okay.
Was unimpressed.
Okay, good.
Like that one came out the same year as Godzilla. The Godzilla one was much better, and I stand on that hill.
Still can't get into it because it has the most boring actor of all time starring in it.
Are we talking about Charlie Hunnam?
No, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Is he in the second Pacific Rim?
He's in the first Godzilla movie that
Yeah.
Pat likes.
I forgot he existed.
Yeah, of course you forgot he was there.
He's going to be in the new James Bond. He's so boring.
Wait, he is?
that
No, he's
he's
not.
rumored to. He's the front
He's
runner.
too big of a name, even though he saw.
He can't be too big of a name, is he?
He's not too big of a name at all. He's the perfect size of a name.
Yeah, but he's also kind of annoying. He's only good in Tenet, and I don't even like
Exactly. But apparently a lot of... Okay, no Tennant slander on this.
But you love him as Quicksilver, right, Patrick?
Let's all calm down. Two things. Joe and I are now sports people, so we're going to make fun of you for going to a comic shop, Grant. We're going to beat you up and take your lunch money. And two...
That's not true.
I've been to a Knicks game. Have you
Two,
been
no
to
one's
a
heard of the
proper
Knicks.
basketball
Two.
game?
You should be embarrassed
no.
for being a Knicks fan, too.
No,
I'm not a
don't
Knicks
be
fan.
embarrassed.
I'm just from New York.
You got another team. What's the other basketball team
The
there?
Nets?
The Nets.
Oh,
yeah.
you probably should pick
Wow,
the
you're
Knicks
a
then.
sports guy and you don't even know
the
who
Knicks
the
are
Nets
way better than the
Patrick?
Nets.
Well, the Nets used to be in Jersey, then they fucking moved.
Well, they're in Brooklyn now.
Used to
so
them being the
shut up.
Jersey Nets. I'm old. I'm a sports guy. I'm just old, Grant.
You're younger than me.
I'm used to the Seattle having a basketball team. I'm old.
What?
Yeah.
Don't they have like a stupid hockey team now? Is it like the
They do have a
Seattle
hockey team now,
Kraken?
which makes way more sense than Arizona having a hockey team. I don't know why it took
But
so
yeah,
long.
but it's funny that Arizona has one.
A hockey team that nobody wanted to go to, much like Atlanta. I know that because I'm old. They don't have it anymore. It went to Winnipeg, which is smart. Okay. The other point is everybody go see Carmen. All right, let's go begin the episode, shall we?
Yeah, I'm going to see Carmen.
Everybody go see
Wait.
Carmen. Why?
Before we start, I finished Frasier.
All of Frasier, you say?
What the fuck?
I did it.
When did we start? We started that during, like, one of those rock movies, right? Like Jungle Cruise or something?
No, I started when you did my podcast, but I finally did it. So I wanted to finish it so I could talk to you about it. That last season is awful until the last 4 episodes.
It does not go out as strongly as Cheers. Agreed.
That episode where Niles has a weed brownie, I mean, he doesn't end up eating it because Marty eats it, but that might be the worst episode of television I've ever seen.
Wow.
Have you seen that episode, Joe?
No, I've only seen and you know what? I've seen the first season of Frasier. I haven't
Okay, you've seen like
gone
the
around
best.
to it.
Joe and I would watch a couple episodes as we were recording.
Mm-hmm.
We record, we watch some, we do it again next week. Although back in those days, we used to record like 2 at a time, save us some traveling. Zoom wasn't a big thing yet. We'd have to go to each other's house.
I would take a plane ride over to your house every day now,
every
but
week on your private jet.
Yeah, it's just a little too expensive right now.
Well, I'm sure what the hell happened to them is as popular as Dr. Fraser Crane's radio show, and you soon are going to have a day named after you.
Pat and Joe Day. Poe Day?
Oh.
Is that how they would
I'll
call it?
celebrate that, I guess. I mean, I assumed it'd be named after the show, but Poe Day's good.
You get your Poe Day hat on?
I'm
All
fine
right.
with that.
You'll do a special episode where you record outside.
We recorded in a car one time. That was a bad idea.
What?
We did, yeah. The Chuck and Larry episode. We did like a ride-along episode.
Don't listen to that. It's a bad episode.
I listened to that one. I couldn't tell it was recorded.
We talked about it. I think
God.
I don't
You
think
did?
you listened to it. Yeah, it was we're like, we're riding along now, and you can hear like you can hear turn
I
signals
don't
and stuff.
like it.
I watched The Wedding Singer, so I re-listened to that episode, and then I listened to a few of the other Sandlers. And I know I listened to Chuck and Larry.
Listen, Sandler's not the best season we have, which is why we're remixing them as we go through.
I like that season. It's like a decade. It's almost a decade old.
Yeah, it is a time
Jesus
capsule
Christ.
listening to those episodes, though, Joe.
They're like
Yikes.
from 2015. They're
It's
fun.
very
I
true.
like them.
We were young men.
And we're talking about like the early days of.
The early days of Sandler working for Netflix.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look, big news, everybody. Sandler's signed a 4-picture deal at Netflix.
He's all done with Sony.
Yeah, little did we know that 8 more films would be coming along. Got to talk about what movie did we do this week?
The Two Jakes.
2 Jakes. All right, great.
Pat!
Let's let me take my
I'm telling you,
drink
the
of water.
photos for this are insane.